The most cruel prisons you have ever seen. The world outside of prison is the only place that is more perilous. It becomes clear that human nature has some severe defects when another follows one violent crime. Of course, not everyone needs to hurt someone physically, but there are far too many people who not only have the urge, but actively seek it out. A safe society must prioritize criminal justice because the outside world is hazardous. Prisons are built to imprison criminals, and some are made just for the most dangerous criminals in the world. These criminals are the ones that represent the biggest danger to society. Since the 17th century, criminals were confined as punishment for their misconduct or as they awaited trials. Just after the American Revolution, 3 of the earliest state jails in the world were established in the United States: in Massachusetts in 1785, Connecticut in 1790, and Pennsylvania in 1794. The jails were so full of conflicts, corruption, and disease that there was a desire to reform them simultaneously. In some prisons, inmates face serious violence risks, inadequate medical care, and excessive overcrowding. This video shows 10 of the cruelest prisons you have ever seen. Let's move on. At number 10, we have Kamiti Maximum Security Prison, Kenya. The worst prison in Kenya is considered to be the Kamiti Maximum Security Prison, which is located in the Roysambu constituency. It was constructed in 1954 by the British to hold criminals during a state of emergency established in October 1952, and it was designed after an outdated colonial system. The old gallows in Kamiti are still in place, but the last execution there occurred in 1987. Many sources claim that 1,800 to 2,500 inmates are crammed into the prison's 1,200-person capacity, and the surroundings are filthy. Severe illnesses like gonorrhea, syphilis, TB, HIV/AIDS, and dysentery are widespread. Although Kamiti was previously notorious for harboring political prisoners and carrying out hanging executions, its notoriety increased in 2008 after a disturbance caused by a drug search was caught on camera and shown on television. Number 9 is La Santé Prison, Paris. La Santé Prison is located in Paris, France, as the jail has a reputation for being so severe, many inmates who are over-serving their sentences there have killed themselves. In the year 1999, 124 convicts committed suicide. The inmates spend barely 4 hours a day outside of their cells due to rampant violence. It is run by the French Prison Service of the Ministry of Justice and is situated at 42 Rue de la Santé in the 14th arrondissement of southern Paris, France, east of the Montparnasse neighborhood. La Santé is one of the 3 central prisons in the Paris region, along with Fleury-Mérogis, the biggest jail in Europe, and Frayne in the southern suburbs. At number 8, we have Terre Haute, USA. This Indiana prison complex has maximum security, medium security, and low security units. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, also called Guantanamo North, is currently scheduled for execution in this prison. In 2008, the ACLU charged Terre Haute with having grossly inadequate conditions in its particular confinement unit, which houses prisoners on death row, including the fatal injection execution of Lisa Montgomery on January 12, 2021. Montgomery was the first American woman to be executed in 67 years. Number 7 is Camp 22, North Korea. According to reports, the North Korean jail Camp 22, or the Hurryung concentration camp, was shut down in 2012. Human rights abuse, experimentation, and cruel treatment occurred at Camp 22. The North Korean leadership consistently denied its existence, who used them as practice patients for surgery and most often killed them. At number 6, we have Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. The Black Dolphin Prison, or 6th Penal Colony, is close to the Kazakhstan-Russia border. It is only given to the nation's most violent and dangerous convicted criminals, including Chechen terrorists, cannibals, pedophiles, and serial murderers. Video surveillance monitors inmates around the clock. Guard rounds are conducted every 15 minutes. Each 50 square foot, 4.6 square meters cell has 2 inmates allocated to it, and it is protected from guards and other inmates by 3 sets of steel doors. Only 90 minutes a day are allotted for prisoners to spend outside their cells in a desolate concrete exercise yard. The fifth prison on the list is Carandiru Penitentiary, Brazil. The Carandiru prison in Brazil, South America, is rumored to be the world's deadliest and most brutal prison. A bloody prison massacre that left 102 prisoners dead took place in 1992. Also, the prison has significant health issues. Around 1 in 5 detainees in the prison's health wing had received an HIV diagnosis. Samuel das Neves conceptualized and constructed the jail in 1920 when it was regarded as a model prison created to satisfy the new requirements of the 1890 Criminal Code. It operated from 1956 until 2002 and, at its busiest, housed more than 8,000 prisoners, making it the biggest prison in South America. It was the scene of the Carandiru massacre in 1992. The prison was taken down in 2002. At number 4, we have San Quentin State Prison, USA. San Quentin is famous for its ferocity, and it is the oldest prison in California. Several notorious criminals have called it home, including Robert F. Kennedy's killer Sirhan Sirhan, Scott Peterson, and Charles Manson. It housed California's only gas chamber in addition to the state's only death row institution, which housed more than 700 death row convicts and was the largest facility in the country. 3 years after the governor of California ended executions in the state began closing death row and moving the inmates in early 2022. Over time, especially in the 60s and 70s, San Quentin developed a reputation for corruption and racial disturbances that the guards actively encouraged. Number 3 is Mendoza Prison, Argentina. Mendoza Prison in Argentina has almost 3 times the maximum allowed population. Inmates sleep on the floor without beds in cells that are only 43 square feet, 4 square meters, and can hold up to 5 convicts. In a 2005 study, Amnesty International said that the situation was so dire that some prisoners in Mendoza had to close their mouths to express their desire for improved living conditions. The conditions during the period were so bad that detainees were subjected to torture and occasionally even death. Inmates had no choice but to use plastic bags and bottles as restrooms because they received poor medical treatment and the prison lacked a functioning sewage system. At number 2, we have Tadmor Prison, Syria. One of the harshest jails in the world to serve a sentence at is Tadmor Military Prison in Palmyra, Syria. Amnesty International has asserted that every part of it was designed to demean its inmates. Throughout the history of the prison, June 1980 saw the most infamous incident. President Hafez al-Assad survived a Muslim Brotherhood assassination attempt. It was claimed that in response to the assault, they ordered soldiers to execute every prisoner. 2001 saw the closure of Tadmor, which reopened in 2011. Even now, it's still brutal. Number 1 is the Bang Kwang Central Prison in Thailand. Thailand's Bang Kwang Central Prison is a maximum security detention center located 11 kilometers north of Bangkok. Leg irons are necessary during the first 3 months of a new prisoner's sentence and must be permanently welded on for death row convicts. The poorest inmates must perform tasks for the wealthy as part of an internal class system to receive food. Thailand's execution chamber and men's death row are in Bang Kwang. The prison housed roughly 6,000 convicts as of 2018. Prisons are probably some of the most violent places in the world, even though the outside world is deadly in and of itself. The most horrific criminals in the world are isolated in confined spaces of prisons. These 10 jails are among the most notorious and violent prisons worldwide. So which one do you think is the most dangerous prison? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, give our video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel.